How's it going, everybody? So in today's video, what we're going to go over is a full process of creating a scratch leather canvas from scratch. I'm going to take an old canvas and I'm going to remove the canvas from it, and I'm going to use the frame. I'm going to take a great carved scratch leather and I'm going to wrap the canvas frame, and hopefully we'll come out with another good image such as this one here. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do so now. I continue to make these tutorials on how to do these certain projects or certain materials, so that way it lessens the learning curve for all you guys. And I hope that everything that you learn from my channel benefits you in your laser engraving work as well. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so what we have here is a repurposed 8x8 canvas frame. And what I mean is, it's your basic canvas, but I've taken all the staples out and removed the canvas, leaving me with the frame itself. This is a 10 by 11 great carved scratch leather. This is a black leather with a gold underlayment. And I'm going to take this scratch leather and I'm going to attach it to the canvas frame. This is essentially repurposing old or bad or used canvases that are no longer good. So if you've been throwing away your canvases, it's probably a good idea to save them, because there are a couple of ways to repurpose them and make something great from them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it leather down, and be sure that if you do this, you have a nice surface, because the last thing you want is to scratch your leather unintentionally. So next, what I'm going to do is take the 8x8 canvas frame and place it on the scratch leather. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that the overlap is enough on each side so you can get new staples in. And on the longer side, it covers fairly well, so not too much of an issue there. Next, I'm going to take this staple gun, which you can get these at Home Depot for 10 to 15 bucks, maybe 25, depending on what brand you get. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the very thin portion. That way I know that I can get it on there without any issues. And all you want to do is just keep it tight. That way you don't have any bubbling or warping in the canvas. Now you want to take this side, kind of stretch it, make sure that it's nice and tight, and do the same thing. Alright, now that we got the short sides on, next we're going to work on the longer sides. And to get a good canvas wrap, you're going to need a pair of scissors or shears to cut this to allow for it to be nice and even. I'm not a professional at canvas wrapping, so bear with me. The most important thing is to just make sure that everything is very tight. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to cut a little slit in each of the sides. We're going to form the corner and staple it. And as you're doing this, just make sure that you're keeping everything very tight, because you want the surface of the canvas that's going to be laser engraved to be absolutely flat. Now, that's it. It's got a little bit of buoyancy to it, but it's all nice and flat. The edges look good. And now we'll move on to doing the laser engraving. Alright guys, so I will briefly go over my settings for this 8x8 scratch leather canvas. So I have chosen this image, being that the canvas size is 8 inches by 8 inches and I want to have this image slightly overlap the edges. I have it at 205 millimeters by 205 millimeters. I have this image set in grayscale and I will be inverting the image. I will leave my contrast at 50, brightness at 50, and white clip at 255, grayscale conversion at Luma, and algorithm at Atkinson. Moving on, I'll go into the processing of it. I already have a toolpath created. For this image, it will be a dot filled engraving. The method will be fill. My movement mode will be dot. The fill interval for this one will be 0.125 millimeters. Jog speed at 3000. Dwell time is at 5. And my laser power is at 16. This is very much just like the layer painted canvases I've done and I've shown you in other previous videos. The only exception is that this is a different type of material, it being a leather coated. The only difference is it is a different type of material. It is a scratch leather material with a gold underlayment. Therefore, you will have to kind of gauge the power settings as it will differ for different lasers. For this particular image, I know that 16 will do great as I've done these before in the past. So again, 16%. I've done a few of these scratch leather canvases in the past, and 16% for my 10-watt diode laser seems to be perfect to expose that gold underlayment and really make this image pop. So that is my settings. I'll go ahead and generate the G code. I'm going to zoom in to ensure that the quality is going to be good. As you can tell, all of this lettering, the small detailed lettering, should come out pretty good. For this image, it is a 6-hour and 26-minute job. With as much laser engraving that's going to be happening for this image, that's pretty much kind of expected. Outside of that, I'll go ahead and export to my flash drive and then we'll move into the actual laser engraving. Engraving is now completed, and just as always, I'll take a water dampened wet paper towel and I'm going to wipe it to reveal the final results. Then just take a dry paper towel and try to dry off everything that's still moist. And there it is. All right, so that's the whole process. That's the final product, and I hope that everything that I showed here today helps you in your laser engraving. And allows you to make more products that you can sell. I appreciate everybody following the channel. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now. I do plan to continue to make these how-tos and these tutorials and these different products that you can make to expand your store. As always, keep on crafting.